Will John Kent the Superboy be able to save his father even if doing so will affect all of history? Well, let's hop into the pages of Action Comics number 1029 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up from where the last issue left off, Superman and Superboy are still dealing with a strange alien portal threat. Nasty aliens are pouring out of rips in the sky, and the radiation from whatever universe these aliens come from are greatly weakening Superman. Superman is grievously injured in the fight and actually ends up bleeding in a way his young son has never seen before. Together, they're able to power on through and save a space station filled with Star Lab scientists who claim that they were put up to opening the portal by Amanda Waller of Task Force X. This was all in an attempt to test the limits of power when it comes to the Man of Steel and this strange otherworldly radiation. This might not make a lot of sense here and now, but it actually makes a lot of sense if you're reading the Suicide Squad book. Now, throughout this story, John has been incredibly troubled. He's worrying about his father like never before, and that is because during his last adventure in the future with the Legion of Superheroes, John ended up looking at the historical records and discovering that today might very well be the day that his father dies. We kind of went through this in the last issue, but we do it again here and now, and once again, Superman doesn't end up chastising his son about looking at future spoilers. Which, honestly, if you want to train your son to be your replacement, maybe telling him not to mess with the space-time continuum would probably be a good bit of parenting. Superman is resolute as ever, though. Even if this is the day he's supposed to die, he's still gonna go down swinging, so Superman and Superboy rejoined forces once again to go back out there and deal with the alien threat. Once again, the narration for this story comes back to this idea about the golden age of childhood, that special moment in time when your parents seemed so utterly invincible, but a moment that always comes to an end for every young person when their parents end up looking, well, human. The previous issue dealt with the darker sides of the end of the Golden Age and John's own feelings of inadequacy and all the pressure that is being put on him to help fill the role of his famous father. But this new issue we're reading right now actually deals with the flip side of the end of the Golden Age, and that is that if you've been raised right, you can actually step outside of your parents' shadow like never before and prove that their lessons were ultimately worth it, that you can indeed fill their shoes. And that's basically what Jonathan does here in this story. He rises to the occasion, tanks what could potentially have been a very fatal hit for his father before eventually taking point on closing the alien portals once and for all. This should be a happy day and a happy victory, but it's still clear that John is dealing with a lot of problems right now. Luckily, Superman is still around to talk him through it. In fact, Clark tells him of the time when his own golden age came to an end. A day when he saw Pa Kent fall off a ladder and hurt himself, but they were able to talk through it, and Pa Kent said one day he's going to live through this with his own children, and indeed that day has come. They also ever so briefly touch upon the question of whether or not Superman was actually supposed to historically die during that fight, and now that Jonathan stepped in and saved him, what kind of butterfly effect that could have for the future. But before they can properly explore that question, we pull on back to see that Superman and Superboy are being spied on by the forces of Mongul and Warworld. Mongul can see Superman's weakness and John's own uncertainty, and as such figures now would be the perfect time to swoop on in and strike and deal with the Man of Steel once and for all. And it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close, everybody, and so that was Action Comics number 1029, a two-part story that probably could have just been a one-issue story, especially as we spend a good chunk of this issue just retreading what we had already said and did in the first issue. That's not to say it's bad material. I'll reiterate what I said in my last video review, and that is I actually enjoy this take on Jonathan. If we're going to artificially age him up, let's actually deal with the fallout of him losing out on his childhood and being forced to grow up before his time. The whole Golden Age concept is solid stuff, and it's a nice way to draw a lot of parallels between John's life and his new upbringing as a superhero to Clark's own life growing up in Kansas. I don't exactly love all the future implications, though, and that John was so willing to put the entire space-time continuum in danger by looking ahead at the future. I know he's young and he's supposed to make mistakes, and there's a good chance that this could still come back and bite him in the ass at some point. I just feel like Clark should have been a lot firmer with him that that's a big no-no. Overall, I'd give this one a 7 out of 10. It was pretty enjoyable, if not for a few small problems here and there. I'm also interested to see what this new Mongul and Warworld stuff could mean, especially now, as this story seeks to imply the future got changed, which is maybe why we won't quite get to the whole future state stuff anymore. So yeah, good, could be better, but definitely more enjoyable than the last run of Superman stories that made me quit. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.